Hello my little film friends, this is Stacia, and this week I'm going to talk about the 1978 movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And I was inspired to do this because unfortunately Donald Sutherland passed away June 20th of this year, and this just happens to be one of my favorite Donald Sutherland movies. And now I'm not knocking the Hunger Games movies or Pride and Prejudice from 2005, but it is a travesty to me that there are a whole group of people that only know Donald Sutherland from those movies. And if you're one of those people and you somehow stumbled on to my video and you're still watching this, I'm going to talk mainly about Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but let me tell you a few more that you should really see to appreciate Donald Sutherland's work. So here's my essential Donald Sutherland movies for you to watch if you don't really know him or you only know him from his more recent films. First one being the 1967 movie The Dirty Dozen. This is really an introduction to most people of Donald Sutherland in film. He plays one of the Dirty Dozen, a group of ragtag criminal soldiers picked to do a basic suicide mission in World War II. It is a fantastic film. The next movie would be Robert Altman's 1970 classic MASH, which spawned the 70s TV show MASH of the same name, which is kind of very different from the movie, but both are fantastic. This might be a little bit hard for some younger people to get into, but once you get into the films of Robert Altman and you really appreciate that filmmaking, it's beautiful. It introduces you to a whole new style of filmmaking that you've probably never seen before. Another one that's worth watching is also released in 1970. It would be Kelly's Heroes. He's in this with Telly Savalas, Clint Eastwood, Don Rickles, and Carol O'Connor. It's another good one to watch. It's another World War II movie. The 70s was really Donald Sutherland's time to shine. And so a lot of his best performances are encapsulated in the decade of the 70s. That brings me to 1971 and the movie Clute, which also stars Jane Fonda in her Oscar-winning role, or one of her Oscar-winning roles. Donald Sutherland plays the title character, John Clute, who is like a private investigator. It's a mystery that he is trying to solve, and it's a phenomenal film. And it was directed by Alan J. Pakula, which, if you're not familiar with the works of Alan J. Pakula, or Pakula, sorry if I said it wrong, you should just look up his movies and start watching them. They are some of the best movies ever made. And of course, Donald Sutherland is in a whole bunch of other movies. He's in National Lampoon's Animal House. He was fantastic in Ordinary People. His part, along with Robert De Niro's part in Backdraft, really sort of make that movie for me. Films on a lighter note, he's in the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie also. 6 Degrees of Separation is another great one to watch of his. Citizen X, which is a TV movie, I believe it's an HBO TV movie, another great performance of his as well, that's worth checking out. A Time to Kill, that came out in 96, is a great movie that he is in along with an ensemble cast. So that gives you a few more movies for you to check out to help honor Donald Sutherland and his passing. But the movie I really want to talk about is the 1978 movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers, like I said at the beginning of this. So the 1978 movie was directed by Philip Kaufman, who also directed movies like The Right Stuff, The Unbearable Lightness of Being, and Henry and June. More recently, he directed the HBO TV movie Hemingway and Gellhorn, which is worth a watch. Invasion of the Body Snatchers is also an early role for Jeff Goldblum. It has Brooke Adams in it and Veronica Cartwright. Those are really the four main leads of the movie, with Donald Sutherland and Brooke Adams being the real main two characters. It also has Leonard Nimoy in it, which I think most of us, when we see Leonard Nimoy, you just think Spock. I love Leonard Nimoy, but God, I can never see him on screen and not think of Spock. This is basically a pod people movie where some strange seeds drift Earth from space. These mysterious pods begin to grow. It invades San Francisco. This movie takes place in San Francisco, and it starts replicating the city's residents one by one until it takes them over to these sort of emotionless pod people that just fall in line with the mission of what to do. And I mean, this is probably my favorite Donald Sutherland movie. I like my 70s Donald Sutherland with permed hair. In the first 5 minutes of this movie, also watch out for a cameo by Robert Duvall, who was in town. He had worked with the director before and basically did a little cameo for free in this movie. I saw this movie. So this movie came out when I was little, and I did see it when I was a little kid. I was allowed to see most movies when I was a little kid. I am of that generation where we were kind of let to do what we must, and so far I have turned out okay, even though I was exposed to maybe movies that people would, frown upon a kid seeing, but I was okay. I think my parents, by and large, let me watch them because they knew I could handle it. These movies really didn't affect me that much, give me nightmares or anything like that. I was a film fan from the start. But this movie left quite an impression on me, and I was a weird kid. I liked the Donald Sutherlands and Roy Scheiders of the world. I like 70s Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. Those were really, the people that I was like, I really like that type of guy. Like I said, this movie is set in San Francisco and was filmed on location in San Francisco. So you see a lot of San Francisco landmarks in this movie. Plus, it was shot around town. If you want a tour of San Francisco in the 70s, this is one of the movies you got to see. This movie came out in the, December of 1978. It was made for about $3.5 million and made almost $25 million at the box office. So it had quite a good return on the movie. And this is a remake of the 1950s sci-fi film. It is considered one of the best remakes of a movie ever made. And this movie is in that sci-fi horror, kind of body horror type of movie, and they do it really, really well. It has really good special effects for the time, really good practical effects. If you're like me and you grew up with those practical effects, those look more real to me than CGI of today. And I think this movie really, really does stand the test of time. I think you could take a young person in their 20s and show them this movie and they will actually love it. It doesn't seem too dated. I just watched it again just before making this video. I probably watch it once a year though. But if you're young and you see this movie, tell me what you think. Do you think it stands up? Because it just could be my nostalgic vision of the movie, thinking that it really holds up today. But tell me what you think, especially if you're younger. and you'd never seen this movie before or watched it recently, did it hold up for you? And you can really tell the themes in this movie. It is the type of movie, like, it's not just a story. There's an underlying message in this movie that I think is really, really pertinent for today as well. That's one of the things that makes me think it does hold up today. Other than it's one of my favorite movies, and I just think everybody should watch it. And if you were a fan of Donald Sutherland, what was your favorite Donald Sutherland movie, and what do you think other people should watch that they might not have seen? Or, like I said, if a younger person stumbles on this video because they are such a fan of film but maybe haven't been introduced to older movies, what do you think they should watch? Because I'm a big proponent of, if you give them a chance to watch it, if you suggest movies, give them a chance to watch it. Yes, they might not like it, but they could just love it. And it's essential to capture those people that will end up loving it. And that could lead them to watching other Donald Sutherland movies and really, really have an appreciation for these, unfortunately, older actors now that we're losing a lot more lately. They did some great work, and people just need to be given a chance to see these movies. I have faith that younger people will love these movies too. And maybe if we introduce them to these type of movies and the movies that we liked when we were younger, or even older movies than that, it'll really get them thinking of what they could have in movies today. And maybe we can change, that more and more better. There are a lot of good movies being produced today, but I want to see them in the movie theater. I want to see there be a cultural wave of movies as art, as opposed to movies that are just entertainment. I think they can be both. But thank you guys for joining me today. My little tribute to Donald Sutherland via the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Stacia, and my goal this year is to make it to 500 subscribers. I'm about to 310 subscribers now, so we're within the goal of making that 500 subscribers by the end of this year. It'd really help me out if you would subscribe, and even if you like and comment, it helps push it out to more people so they can discover my videos as well. But I just love talking about movies, and I do this as a way to share my love of movies with other people, and that's all it means to me is, I do this anyway, whether or not other people watch. But I absolutely love it when you comment and we can have a conversation about movies and find a little community here. But I hope to see you guys next week. Love you guys. Bye.